Alright, everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So this time around, I'm going to be doing some more or less like going over some EXQ that I think are going to be very good for exchange. I know that the banner is not live anymore, but in terms of the exchange date, you have until April 7th to exchange for it. So I mean, there's still time. So I do want to kind of go over if anyone does have kind of like wondering which one I should be getting. So I will be doing both melee and then a shot base over here. So that's what we are going to be doing. So I don't really have any of these EXQ rank in like a particular order. So basically, I'm just grabbing them from like the top of the list and then simply I think they're pretty good. Good animation wise, cinematic, I guess, some good effects as well. So that's what we are going to be targeting. So I'm gonna throw out some quick, honorable mention, I guess, something you guys can potentially get, but I don't think they're like that top of the priority. So the first thing that I do want to recommend is definitely going to be the Kubli. So I think everyone has tasted the pressure, the ZX skill right here in the gorgeous challenge already. So this one, in terms of the pressure over here, so you are going to be able to stop enemies EXQ cooldown recovery or just anything. So that's going to be a very powerful kind of thing to be experiencing in, let's say, arena specifically, like 3v3. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have experienced that already. So in terms of the receiving end, like yourself and myself, for example, like I hate this EXQ. If I see it on arena, I'm like, I gotta take out the quickly head like real quick. So in terms of addition to that, there's so much other gimmicks over here. So reduce a melee attack by all enemy by 59%, and then reduce a melee defense by 59%, and then also reduce a beam resistance of 39%. But I think the most importantly is definitely stopping that EXQ recharge. So even if you have a 100% cooldown build, you're not going to be able to do anything. So that's why I think this one is definitely either serving honorable mention, but definitely not something of like the magnitude of like, oh, you have to get that immediately. So that is definitely something. We also do have something maybe going down to list like the actual origin over here. So the arm over here, so this arm over here actually nullifies it. So this one is able to erase the debuffing over here. So that is literally like a counter to the pressure EXQ. I mean, this one does have some pretty nice gimmicky EXQ animation to it. So, but in terms of like, do you need to get this one? I don't really think so. I guess, but definitely something to be considering about, because all these are going to be 7-star parts, so they should play a big role, or whether or not you want them for stat sticking purposes over here. So up next, I do have something maybe like the Rockfire backpack. These are just simply going to be like a straight beam attack, so not too fancy, but does have some pretty good chunks of power, I guess, speed power for these types of specific EXQs, so not bad. Also, this raise your attack by 15%, so this one is going to be eligible for that buff EXQ effects trigger right there, so that's not bad. Also going to raise your beam resistance by 40%, so that's pretty good as well. So another one that I have on the list is actually going to be this one over here. So this one is going to be the Hakashiki Kai backpack over here. So this one is literally the same thing as we just took a look for the Raphael, but this one is not really getting any additional effects over here, but it does have some pretty nice animations. So I guess do want to mention that as well. I think the last one that I will be talking about is actually going to be the Cold Sora. Is it the Cold? Yeah. I think it's a Cold Sora's leg EXQ, right? So this one is a very powerful EXQ upon alteration. So everything that we're going over right now is at the unalterated stage. So that's why they're not going to be receiving that higher damage power wise up here. So this one unfortunately is a cutscene, right? But this one is not giving you any additional, let's say, attack, boosting, for example. There's not any additional gimmicks where, let's say, speed increases, or let's say HP health or whatsoever, or recovery. So that's why I don't think this one is that good, but I think the overall animation is quite satisfying as well. So maybe that is something you guys would like, for example. So that is gonna be it in terms of my kind of like a on the side, cherry in the top, something you guys might also want to consider, more or less like the honorable mention. So let me actually start things off by going over to the actual shooting base first. All right, first part that I am going to be recommending is actually going to be the A to Z Gundam backpack over here. So this one, I call it the Amazon Prime Cannon over here. So this one is a very meta changing EXQ to be using in arena specifically for shot build, because this one is you can say it's a replacement. So let's say for Rampage at the moment, because this one does have like an invisible frame, so you're not going to be taking any damage, which is going to be very good in terms of arena purposes, where you don't want to be taking any damage. You want to be able to wrap up the match like in a fast manner, so you can benefit from a better, let's say, multiplier or the battle assessment. So this one is a very top choice for sure. Alright, up next we do have the Wing Gundam Zero's chest EXQ over here. So we have ourselves a colony break up here. So this one is simply enough, it's just more or less for like the fashion, simply for the aestheticness, I guess. Because in terms of torso EXQ, we really don't have all that good like a cinematic EXQ, so that's why I think this is a very good one indeed. So this one is also going to be raising the speed increase to your overall squad by 20%. Also going to be getting a squad shot attack up by 30%, and then the last one at least a melee increase to squad by 10%. So I think overall this is a very good EXQ for just anyone that likes, let's say, the Wing Zero stuff over here. So this is also going to be another one on the roster. Okay, up next we do have the second V's backpack EXQ over here. So this one is going to be the second wing. So this one enough is going to be a very powerful EXQ if you're looking at. So you're getting some shot increase to squad by 30%, also some HP recovery, so that is always a nice kind of addition to have. And last but not least, you do have some speed increases as well. So that's why this one is packing a lot of effects that I think a lot of people will actually enjoy. Just, you know, having the ability to heal is always a very important thing. So this one is going to be a very good addition as well. I don't actually own this one myself, so I can't really say whether or not this one is like a awakenable. I don't think it is. You guys can definitely let me know that if you guys do have this in hand, but this is definitely going to be another recommendation for you guys right here. This is going to be another part that I would like to recommend as well. So we are looking at the big scale Zeta Gundam over here. So obviously without the alteration, it's not going to be called big scale yet. So this one is actually a new EXQ that they have actually added on for the alternative attribute for the Zeta Gundam over here. So we got the Hyper Mega Launch over here. So this one is a fairly simple enough right here. So in terms of the effects, it's only going to be raising speed and then some attacks over here. So it's not too crazy in terms of effects, but in terms of the overall animation, I think it just makes it worse. So that's why I want to add this onto the list as well. Up next, we are going to start diving down into some 6-star only territories over here. So these are not, at the moment, not being able to go up to a 7-star rating. So right here, we have the big scale. So it's not really the big scale yet until alteration. So upon alterating it, this one will become a 1/100 scale part. So whether or not you want to use this as a 1/144 scale part, that is definitely depending on you. Me personally, I wouldn't even want to alter this torso over here because I don't want this to go out of proportion, for example. But we have ourselves the Twin B Magnum over here. So this one is another powerful EXQ. Just a very, you know, cinematic like EXQ that I think a lot of people will enjoy. So this one, from what I've tested out myself, this one is obviously going to be an awakenable EXQ. So in terms of chaining it to some other EXQ, just don't try to use like two awakenable EXQ and then you guys should be fine. So this one is going to be doing your basic job, some health recovery as well as some shot attack up. So that's why it's a very good indeed EXQ to be looking at, so not bad. Up next, we are going to be talking about the High New Gundam HWS second form version Ka over here. So this one is simply going to be a very powerful effects EXQ over here. So you have 4 additional effects over here. So you're going to get some speed increases, shot attack up to your squad, some melee defense up, and then some physical resistance. So I feel like this one is a very powerful EXQ as well. So just having a lot of those abundance of effects is going to allow you to survive a little bit. You know, it may not allow you to tank most hit, for example, but simply having a little bit of those should allow you to, for longevity wise, it's going to be very good. So this one is going to be another one that I would like to recommend as well. Last but not least, in terms for the shooting aspect of it, we have the Freedom Gundam backpack over here. So this one is eligible for a big scale again upon alteration. So if you guys do not have the outbash of it, I mean, me personally, I prefer this one as a 1/144 per scale again, just simply for the right proportion. So this one is going to be the high match at full burst over here. So this one is going to be doing some speed increases. I'm going to be doing some HP recovery as well, and then some shot attack as well. So this one, I think throughout the ones that we have been looking at, you guys can see a pattern. So it's simply, I always go for something that is going to be giving me some good effects up here. So at least like 1 or 2 would be good. I try not going for something that is like only, let's say, attack buffer. I do want to enjoy having a little bit more effects. So just being able to utilize these EXQ a little bit better. So this one is going to be the last thing I will be recommending. So up next, we will be talking about the melee aspect. So in terms of the melee aspect, so I went immediately for something more of the aesthetic over here. So we have ourselves the Aegis Knight Lance over here. So this one is the Kira Uno's Hyper Beam Star over here. So this one is going to be a very powerful one indeed, even prior to alteration. So upon alteration, this one does go up to S- power, so kind of keep that in mind. So this one, unfortunately, is not really pumping out like the actual attack and buffer. So this one is going to be increasing, let's say, defense instead. So that's gonna be like kind of whatever. So simply, I picked this one simply for, let's say, the aesthetics of it, so I would include a clip on the right hand side. I do like the finishing blow. Let's say you don't finish an enemy, for example, there's like a really close-up shot of like just your gunplay, for example, so I kind of do enjoy that part. So that's why I am going to be recommending this one simply for the aestheticness of it. Up next, we do have the I feel like this one is going to be the more favorite of the bunch. So we have the double extend riser back EXQ over here. So this one is going to be the Transcend extend strike over here. So upon alteration, this one does have the eligibility to go up to like a SS minus power. So this one is going to be more or less like one of the more powerful iteration of melee EX skill, and this one's a physical as well, so that's why this one I feel like this benefit from a lot of those like portrait that is revolving around, let's say, physical EX skill or just physical attacks only. So this one is going to be doing some speed increase by 20%, also some squad recovery, so that's always going to be nice. And then last but not least, we do have some melee increase as well, so those are going to be, I will have to say, the holy trio in terms of like the effects that we do want in terms of EX skill. So this one, but in terms of the downside of this EX skill, I gotta say it's the extremely long animation. So I don't know if you guys do notice, but this EX skill roughly has like 10 seconds. So I don't know, like that long of animation, because in terms of actually chaining in, let's say, some of the attacks are there, you don't really have that much time left. So if I were to use this EXQ, this is going to be last act as like a final resort for me to kind of finish off the enemy, so I don't have to worry about chaining in another EXQ to use his attack buffers over here. So this one is going to be a very visually good EXQ, you know, it's a cinematic, the animation wise is going to be top notch, so this one is going to be on the roster as well. Next, we are going to be talking about the Raven final battle type arm EXQ over here. So this one is going to be a non-awakenable EX skill, so you can chain this to whatever EX skill that you feel like doing. So this one is going to be a very powerful EXQ attacker as well. So this one is going to be giving out some speed increases, melee attacking up, as well as some Vernier capacity up as well. So Vernier capacity is definitely something that is a heavily slept on, because if you talk about, let's say you're playing on a very big map, for example, just having that Vernier capacity increased by slightly does allow you to kind of dash forward just a little bit more. So that's why this one is going to be a little bit more of a niche option. But nonetheless, this one is a non-awakenable EXQ, so that's why I feel like this is a very deserving one to be looking into. So that is why I am including this one onto the roster over here. Next, we will be talking about the enhanced double stated version Ka over here. So this one is eligible for a big scale as well if you do alterate it. So obviously you will need to alterate it in order to transform this one to a big scale. But in terms of EX skill, I'm going to be talking about some actually countering EX skill over here. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen the EX skill already, and this one does have some fairly nice smackdown animation. So that's why if any of you guys simply want to counter your friend testing EX skill, I feel like this one is going to be a very powerful addition to be looking at. So this one does have some health recovery, some attack increase, as well as some melee defense. But I would have to say this one does lack in terms of power only, C power only. So if you guys feel like I don't want to look at a C power base up here, maybe this is something you want to skip on right now, or you want to get this immediately, or just wait, or just get it right now and then wait for the L badges to take it up to the next level. I will have to say this one is not bad overall. That smackdown animation does look really clean, so that's why this one I mean, like, probably right now the only counter EX skill I can find on the roster, so that's why I do want to recommend this one as well. Alright, last but not least, we will be talking about the Eclipse Gundam leg over here. So we got the Hyper Eclipse. So this one just packs a lot of effects over here. So we got some speed increases, health recovery, some melee attack up, as well as some shot attack up. So this one I will have to say is a very versatile EX skill to be looking at. So that's why I would like to recommend this one as well. I don't remember this one, if this one is like an actual awakenable. I don't remember this one. I don't think this one is, so that's why you should be able to chain into some of your other EX skill, no problem. So that is going to be it in terms of the list that I do want to be recommending. You guys can definitely let me know which one of the bunch you guys are going to be looking at. This maybe it's not going to be the list that I'm recommending. Which one do you guys even like the most from the set over here? Whether not going to be for your melee build or your sharp build, you guys can definitely let me know that in the comment section below. So with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.